Hey friends, how you doing? This is Coach Jose here, and today I will be sharing with you video number 2 of our free video series. I will give you a quick recap about what dietitian Diana spoke about in video number 1, and then I'll go ahead and add some tips and tricks that will be helpful so you can adopt this new lifestyle that reverses type 2 diabetes. Now, just to recap, Diana spoke about insulin resistance and what it is and what causes it. And then she went ahead and spoke about the most common mistakes that people make when they get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. If you're interested in this information, go ahead and watch video number 1 right below, and then come back to this video so everything makes sense. Now, just a quick recap. Insulin resistance is the underlying cause of type 2 diabetes. However, this is not the only condition that develops as a result of having insulin resistance. Think of insulin resistance as the driving factor for many other metabolic conditions. So let me just share with you real quick a sneak peek of our online course. Okay, so insulin resistance is actually the driving factor for many other conditions, as I said, such as strokes, coronary artery disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and dyslipidemia, which is elevated lipid levels on your blood. Now, this is important to understand because people tend to focus on only controlling their blood glucose by avoiding carbohydrates, right? That is the first mistake that people make. Once they get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, they think that carbohydrates is what is causing this condition, and then they stop eating carbohydrates altogether. Now, this might bring down your blood glucose simply because you're not eating carbohydrates. But the underlying cause of this condition, insulin resistance, is still there. So you're still at risk for developing all of these other conditions that I just mentioned. That is the reason why it is extremely important to adopt a lifestyle and a diet that reverses the underlying cause of the disease and not only focuses on the symptoms, such as low-carb, ketogenic diets. With that being said, you might be asking yourself, okay, so what can I do, or what diet can I follow in order to reverse the underlying cause of the condition, insulin resistance? More and more research is showing that plant-based whole food diets, which are void of animal products and hence they are low on saturated fats, are the ideal diet to follow in order to reverse insulin resistance. Once you have reversed insulin resistance, then your risk for the development of all of these conditions, and including type 2 diabetes, goes down dramatically. That is the reason why people who follow this diet reverse type 2 diabetes, and their blood glucose metabolism goes back to normal, which means that their blood glucose values come down. But the good news is that they're not only reversing type 2 diabetes, they're also improving their overall health. Does that make sense? So now that you know this information, you might want to know, okay, how do I follow this plant-based whole food diet that many people are talking about? Now, I don't know if you have noticed, but if you are Googling or if you're YouTubing, how do I reverse insulin resistance or how do I develop type 2 diabetes? More and more people are talking about the plant-based whole food diet. The reason being is because there's a lot of research being done on this approach because the results are promising. Now, this is not a new approach. This is not new science. Actually, the science dates back over 100 years ago, where researchers started to notice that people who lowered their saturated fat intake became more insulin sensitive. In other words, these people started reversing insulin resistance. Actually, there is a research study by Dr. Rabinovich in which he grabbed a cohort of type 2 diabetics, and instead of feeding them a diet high on animal products and low in carbohydrates, what he did is he actually fed them a diet high in carbohydrates and low in fat. And just to be more specific, He actually fed them plain sugar, literally just plain sugar or high sugar foods, but very low fat. And to his surprise, because he was one of the pioneers that discovered this method, to his surprise, these people reversed the underlying cause of that condition. Now, that doesn't mean that now you just are supposed to eat sugar and foods high in glucose. That is not the trick, because many more years of research showed that the ideal way to reverse it is with a high nutrient diet. And a high nutrient diet is a plant-based whole food diet, which is actually low in saturated fat, which will reverse the underlying cause of type 2 diabetes. So with that being said, how do you adopt this diet? What are the first steps that someone should take in order to become more insulin sensitive with this approach? So like any lifestyle change, it's going to take some commitment. Okay, this is not just about trying it for a day or trying it for a couple days and just giving up. When your baseline levels of insulin resistance are high to begin with, when you literally have type 2 diabetes and you're taking medications, this means that you have high levels of insulin resistance. Then if you go ahead and just eat a potato the next day, or eat a sweet potato, or eat like brown rice, it's just natural that your blood glucose is going to get higher. And that is when people come to us and tell us, hey, I have been following this diet that you're talking about, with more plant-based whole foods, with more carbohydrates, and my blood glucose is not improving. What is the reason that this is happening? The reason being is because your baseline levels of insulin resistance are high. You need to make the commitment to follow this approach for at least a couple of weeks until you start seeing these results. Now, there is a few things that you need to pay attention to when you are transitioning to this diet. Now, as dietitian Diana explained in video number 1, the foods that you need to be focusing on are high fiber foods. Those are the ones that will have a minimal impact on your blood glucose, but you are still eating a high nutrient diet, void of animal products. That is the trick here. Void of animal products. More and more research is showing that animal products are inflammatory for our cells, and inflammation is a driving factor for insulin resistance. So for most people, it is pretty hard to go cold turkey plant-based tomorrow. It was hard for me. It was probably hard for Diana, but you need to make the commitment to better your health. It is as simple as that. It is a commitment that you're gonna make to yourself if you want to live a longer, healthier life. And that is exactly what we teach in our program. So just to show you, one of the most important things that we ask our members to do is to set goals, and we teach them how to achieve them. So that is the reason why we teach our members to set relevant goals that will allow them to stay focused to this lifestyle change, right? So in one of actually the first thing that we ask them to do, as you can tell on week number 1, what we ask people to do is to set goals and make them obvious. If this is a lifestyle that you want to adopt, the first thing that you should do is grab a piece of paper and write the main reason why you want to change this lifestyle. After coaching hundreds of clients, the main reason why people are doing this is because they want to grow old with their families and stay healthy, right? Some people want to see their kids grow older. Some people want to see their grandchildren grow older. And the truth of the situation is that type 2 diabetes is a condition that, if it remains uncontrolled, it will shorten your life, unfortunately. And when you have such a big reason of why you want to follow this lifestyle, then you tend to stick to your new habit. And what you need to do is just write a small paragraph on a piece of paper that says, I want to reverse type 2 diabetes, I want to reverse insulin resistance, or I want to bring my blood glucose down because I want to grow older with my family, I want to enjoy a long, healthy life for the next 40 years of my life. Or it can be, I'm tired of medication, and the reason why I'm doing this is so I can stop taking these medications that are giving me side effects, and I'm just tired of popping pills every single day. And that is the main reason why you are adopting this lifestyle. Now, the trick here is that you need to write this in 3 pieces of paper and put it on places that you're gonna see every single day. So if you work on a computer, go ahead and post it right on top of your computer, so it's a daily reminder that you are changing your lifestyle for that reason. Another place where you can put this piece of paper is in your mirror. Everybody looks at the mirror before they leave the house, right? So if this piece of paper with your goal and the reason why you want to do this is staring at you every single day before you leave the house, then you're more likely to follow through with this diet that you're following every single day, right? Now, another place that you can put it, it could be in the fridge, because what happens? What do you do when you get a craving? What do you do when you want to eat those crackers or a piece of cheese, or just cook something unhealthy? Where do you go? It's the kitchen. But what if the reason why you're doing this is staring you right at the face? Wouldn't you think about it twice if you want to go ahead and do it or not, right? So those are the 3 places that I would recommend that you place the reason why you're following this new plant-based lifestyle. Now, that being said, a lot of people cannot do this cold turkey, and that is completely understandable. That is the reason why we have made it easier with transformational phases. Now, I am sharing with you our course wide open right now, because I really want you to make this commitment to yourself and truly change your lifestyle for the better. Okay, so I'm just gonna share this lecture with you. One moment. Okay, so literally the first lecture that people see once they log into the online course that we have is the Welcome to the Academy lecture. And this lecture explains the transformational phases that you're gonna go through from week number 1 all the way to week number 10. Now, the reason why this needs to be a slow and steady approach is because we have noticed that people that go cold turkey and change their diets the following day tend to fall off the wagon like 2 weeks after. The reason being is because it is such an overwhelming change in your life. Think about it. You eat 3 times a day. If you gotta change the way that you eat every single day, you're gonna get overwhelmed. You're just not gonna you're just not gonna know what to do, especially if you're doing this by yourself, right? If you don't have anybody to ask questions or anybody that is guiding you, then it just becomes very hard to go cold turkey and follow this lifestyle. So the reason why we have created this transformational phases is so people can take a gradual approach to lifestyle change. It is a systematic approach. So every single week, we ask people to just make a small change to their diet so they can see the results in the following 2, 3, 4 weeks of following the method. So week number 1, we only ask people, as you can tell here, to add more non-starchy vegetables to their lunch and dinner. Now, if you don't know what non-starchy vegetables are, I'll go ahead and leave a list of food groups right below this video so you can download it and get an idea of what food groups are included on a plant-based whole food diet. Now, from weeks 2 to 4, we have decided to gradually decrease the amount of animal products that our members are eating. So for example, on week number 2, you will stop eating animals with 4 legs. That means no more pork, no more beef, right? So that's pretty easy, because then you can still eat chicken, you can still eat fish, shellfish. So the change is not that dramatic. Now on week number 3, you will go ahead and stop eating animals with 2 legs, as well as animals with 4 legs. So by week number 3, you are already not eating chicken, turkey, beef, pork, any animals with 2 or 4 legs, but you can still eat fish and shellfish. So the change again is not that overwhelming. You do this for a whole week, okay? So you give yourself time. And then by week number 4, you stop eating animals with no legs. So that means that by week number 5, you are fully plant-based. Literally a full month of transformation, of a transformation that is slow and steady, okay? And trust me, by week number 2, week number 3, even on week number 1, people start seeing results. Now, weeks number 5 to 10 are mostly about changing your lifestyle, not too much about the diet because you're already plant-based, but it's mostly about your lifestyle habits, such as exercising more, such as sleeping better, such as including meditation to your daily routine, including some stretching techniques, some lifestyle habits that will make you more active. Being active reverses insulin resistance. Also, what we teach from weeks number 5 to 10 is how to accommodate this new lifestyle that you have with your daily habits. So for example, we teach you how to go grocery shopping, how to read a nutrition label, how to food prep, how to deal with social situations when you go to parties, when you travel abroad, when you go to a friend's house. So those are important things to know now that you are following this lifestyle, because those situations will arise. And if you still want to stay in control of your new lifestyle, then we give you tips and tricks. So now, I hope that with the information that I have shared from our online course, literally the first 2 weeks of our online course, I hope that you can make this commitment to your health and start changing your lifestyle little by little. That is all you need to know. It needs to be a steady and a slow approach in order to reach your goals. And your goals, again, they can be to reverse type 2 diabetes so you can do more activities with your loved ones, so you can increase your lifespan, so you can get rid of your medications, but make it a powerful personal reason for you. I really hope that this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions, and if you need coaching, because most people that go through a lifestyle change need some coaching, need at least someone to interact with for the first 2 months of their lifestyle change. If you need that, we're here to help you out. Simply send us an email and we'll give you more information. Thank you.